Say it now. Say the obvious prediction right now.
The Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Hey guys, welcome back to Starcastic Remarks alongside my brother Chris. My name is Ryan Chambers. We appreciate you guys for tuning in here tonight. The Dallas Stars lose by a final score of 4-3 in overtime here tonight. I couldn't even remember the final score here, Chris. Just super frustrating here tonight, guys. There are multiple things that kind of went wrong with this team here tonight. Chris looks like he's having technical difficulties here for just a second. So he can hear me. So I'm just going to talk about my initial thoughts from the game here tonight, and then we'll get Chris's here once he's ready to go. This was a very frustrating game because we saw the way that the Stars started. They come out with a 3-0 lead. Looks like there's absolutely zero rust in their legs, that they don't look tired. And then for basically the rest of the way, they looked exhausted. And it was just frustrating thing after frustrating thing tonight, just because of the ability of the Stars to not hit the net and to not be able to kill off a penalty. So those are just a couple of the things. We'll dive deep into them here in just a second. But Chris, can you give me your initial thoughts here just for a second? No, we can't hear you, Chris. Okay. Anyways, let's take a look at some of y'all's comments here before we even get going. One of the first things I did want to talk about was Rope Hints, and was one of the very first things that Zach and Nate were talking about over here in the chat. I thought Rope actually looked faster tonight, Nate. He looked more dangerous in general. Now, if we're talking about his breakaway at the end of the third, you got to finish there. It's not even necessarily the fact, Zach, that he needs to finish. He just needs to hit the freaking net. We had numerous chances in the third period at the end, and then in the overtime period, where we were the better team in the overtime period, I would argue, and we didn't hit the net. There was Jamie Benn who missed a shot. Stankoven had a shot that missed. We had Pavelski whose tip went wide. We had, at the end of the third period, we just mentioned, was Rope Hintz who missed the shot as well. That was a giant opportunity for him. It, but getting back to Rope for a second, he did look a lot faster tonight. He was using that speed. So I fully agree with how Zach kind of generalized that, yes, but it still didn't do them any good here in the end, though. Chris, are we good now?
Yeah, I hope so. My
Yes, we're good
everything
now.
everything died. My headset died. My microphone disconnected. But whatever, we're back now. I was just gonna say I pretty much agreed with what you said off the bat. Like it felt like the Stars started off quick. They were able to carry over what they had in Game 7 and started that energy in the first period really hard. And the Avs were trying to get going after having a week off, and it only took them one period, and the Avs were right back in it, and the Stars looked tired and were trying to keep up the whole rest of the game until overtime. And the end of the third period too. Actually, the last 5 minutes of the third period, Stars looked really good, and to not bury any of those chances you got at the end of the third period and in the overtime, you have to take advantage of that. I mean, that is a huge missed opportunity right there by like 5 of our best players had chances to score the game-winning goal tonight and couldn't do it. I mean, this is a haunting loss. I mean, you had every chance to win this game. You did what you needed to do in the first period. You knew the Avs were going to come back stronger in the second half of this game and that the Stars were going to have to try and find their legs. You got to win this game with all those chances. I mean, it's exactly like the Vegas series. So many chances and you can't put them in. Someone's got to step up and be a hero.
This game could have gone either way. We could have won this game, but at the same time, Colorado also probably deserved to win this game as well. We're going to focus on the negatives just because of the what ifs that we could have done in the game here tonight, Chris. And there's quite a few, but that's got to be the biggest one, and the fact that there were just missed opportunities. And that was something that James said was his biggest loser of the entire series against Vegas, was the fact that they just had missed opportunities and did not take advantage of those. So even though we get 3 goals here tonight, Chris, the thing that's the most frustrating for a bunch of people, it's just deja vu all over again when we talk about the beginning of the regular season this year.
Yep.
You start and again, it's the same thing. The Stars are probably tired because they played a 7-game series. They played the Avalanche when they were tired in back-to-backs often in this season. And you get a 3-0 lead. You feel good going into the first intermission. They look great. They're taking advantage of their opportunities. They had a 5-on-3 that they were able to capitalize on. And then it just stopped. That's something you can't do against this Colorado Avalanche team. They are one of the best comeback teams in the NHL, and they proved it again here tonight. They come down from 3-0, tie it 3-3 early in the third period. It goes to overtime, and then they lose it in overtime. So it's extremely, extremely frustrating to not just a 2-goal lead, but a 3-goal lead, and they blow it again against the same team.
Yeah, I mean, it's again one of the issues that Stars had in the regular season was starting to turn the ship around just too late. And that's exactly what the Stars did tonight. They started turning the ship around with about 5 minutes left in the third, but it's too late. I mean, the Avs had so many chances at that point, and with their skill, they just need one break, and that's what they got. They got one breakaway with their fastest player just by chance, and he beat Otter.
So again, we could tear this apart and look at the different things in this game, but let's look at the difference in this series right now, and that's special teams. Without the Stars taking penalties in the second period, the game's probably still 3-0 going into the third period. I would think at least 3-1 and not 3-2 like it was. And Colorado had all the momentum on their side after that. And good for them, because they made us look like trash there in the second period. Ever since they got that call, the very first call, and Valentin scored it, the first power play goal, it just after that, it was just completely downhill until the last 5 minutes of the third. And like you said, Chris, it was too late.
The Stars penalty kill was awful tonight. I mean, the center of the ice was just free. They could do whatever they wanted from the top of the crease to in between the two face-off dots. Avs could do whatever they wanted. And then the second one is just a wrist shot from above the circles from Makar that goes in. Makar's got a great shot. Yeah, he does. He has to save that. Otter had a clear sight of it, and it just beat him. You can't get beat on that shot when you're facing a team that's already so good offensively. You need to make the saves that are savable, especially on the penalty kill against this team. So that was really a frustrating goal that Otter let in for me tonight. You can't do that when this team is this good on the power play. You can't give them freebies.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people are talking about like the what ifs and all this sort of stuff. So like Martin over here, it could have been 4-0 at the end of the first too. What if, Jamie Benn had scored his second goal of the game and it's 4-0? I don't think it matters. I think it's still a 4-goal lead against Colorado. Colorado is one of those teams that can erase a 4-goal lead, very similar to what Edmonton can do. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, Chris, is how difficult this series is going to be for the Stars compared to how they just played against the Vegas Golden Knights. This is a completely different style of hockey. And the Stars were doing really well off the bat and starting off with that 3-0 lead, but there's so much more open ice out there for both teams compared to what it was in the Vegas series. In the Vegas series, neither team was like allowing anything, and no shots were allowed to get through it. It was getting blocked in the slot, or it was never making it to the goaltender, it felt like. And tonight, that was not the case. And it just goes to show you how different this series is going to be and how Dallas is going to have to figure out how to beat this team.
Yeah, and the Stars played it well in the first period, and they played the defense well in this style of game too in the first period. And the fact that we weren't able to maintain that anywhere close in the second and third was really frustrating because it looked perfect in the first period. That's exactly how you want to play. We're taking advantage in the offensive zone and locking it down defensively. And after that, the top line from the Avs was able to do whatever they want.
Ardell over here trying to be the mediator here between freaking out Stars fans and Stars that are, more on the calm side. Dallas can beat this team. Everyone stay calm. We're staying calm, absolutely, Ardell, but I think it's absolutely fair to look at this game and say we're allowed to be frustrated because there were numerous opportunities for the Stars to win the game. They were the better team in overtime. There was one play that went the other direction that allowed Miles Wood to get a semi breakaway, but still.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call this a stolen win for the Avs. I would call this a dropped win by the Stars. I mean, so many chances to win the game to not do it. The Stars gave this one away, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. When you started off a game 3-0 and going into the first intermission, that you absolutely gave up the game. I was about to say no, not really, but yeah. You cannot allow a 3-0 lead dissipate like that and expect.
And more so the 3-0, it's the chances that you gave up. I mean, you had your number one center barreling down the ice full speed and only needed a wrist shot to beat maybe the worst goalie still in the playoffs right now, and we couldn't do it. I mean, so many chances to win this game, and our big guys, all of our big players had a chance, and they couldn't do it. But I mean, let's kind of move on from this one. I feel like the key you have here is you can't lose 2 again. You can't go down 2-0 again. We all saw how ridiculously horrible that series became and how tough it was to come back from that. You can't do it again, especially against this team, I feel like. So you just got to shift your focus. You've got to you have time to make a game plan now instead of only having 48 hours from game 7 to game 1. Garbage. So figure something out, and you need to find a way to stop their top line from beating you, because that's what happened tonight. The Avs' best players beat us, and they got 1 goal from their depth. Game over. That's all the Avs need is 1 goal from someone else. And that's exactly what they got. They got 1 goal from someone else. Top line won the game.
And those same guys, excuse me, I'm tired. those same guys that we've been complaining about to show up didn't show up much on the score sheet tonight. I know. I think Pavelski got an assist here tonight,
A great
and
assist.
like I know Hintz looked a lot better, but it's tonight was everything went in Colorado's favor. They were able to get the bounces when they needed it. They were able to get back into the game, and the Stars let them back in the game. They took their foot off the gas in the second period. And again, I know you're tired. I know you just came off of a really thrilling and emotional, Game 7 victory over the Stanley Cup, defending Stanley Cup champions. So what? At this point, it doesn't matter, right? You've got another team standing in your way between you and your goal, and they at least started the way they should have and kind of showed up, but ultimately they were not able to do so. So
Yeah, but moving forward, what's good about this game is that you saw how you have to play against this team to win. I mean, that first period, that's exactly what you want to do. You need to be active in your defensive zone. You need to be making sure you know where their top guys are and how to close those gaps quickly and take away their ice. And when you get those chances in the offensive zone, especially against their lower lines, you got to take advantage. So that's something we definitely need to do moving forward in the series. And then also you need to be punishing those top line forwards. I mean, they all have 25, 20. Well, actually, I think it was 27 to 28 minutes tonight for that top line for the Avalanche. And those minutes need to be punished. It needs to be hell every time they are on the ice. They need to be scared. So you need to punish those guys and play like you did in the first period.
we'll have to see how it goes for this team going into game 2. We are going to kind of wrap it up here a little bit early tonight because we are exhausted and we have work in the morning, and it is 12:24 at the time we're recording this. Chris, is there anything specific or any player specific that you blame here tonight?
I mean, I wouldn't say I blame him fully, but Otter got beat by Georgiev, which is something I didn't think I would ever say tonight. I mean, especially in the overtime. Georgiev was fantastic in the overtime, making some huge saves, and we couldn't get one from Otter. I mean, you needed one in a big moment right there. Woods came through the crease. I mean, put a stick out, attack him. He retreated too quick. I mean, and then that second goal that they got on the power play was not a good goal to give up, in my opinion. Any way you slice it, Otter got beat by Georgiev, and we should never have been able to say that in any of the possible 7 games.
Still got to make sure that you take care of your business. Even, I mean, like, still, you can't allow them to get back in the game when you're up 3-0. You just can't. And I think there's just a little bit of blame to go all the way around on all facets of the game. The power play, the last power play the Stars had was absolutely abysmal. The penalty kill sucked tonight. The goaltending didn't get up with a big save when we needed it, like obviously the breakaway that Woods had there at the end. And it's the players that we needed to score didn't score tonight. So that's just kind of what happened. Is the things we needed, the little things, didn't happen. So I mean, this is still a long series. I'm not worried about the Stars' ability to get back in the series and win game 2, but I agree with you, Chris. You can't go down 2-0 again. If you go down 2-0, you are really putting yourself in a hole again, considering what you just had to do against the Vegas Golden Knights in the last series. So we'll have to see what the Stars do going into game 2. Man, do we really need some of these guys back. We could really use Marchment back and Hakanpää. Both of those guys would make a tremendous amount of difference in the games, even here in the second round. So, okay, who's your biggest winner and your biggest loser here tonight, Chris?
Cale Makar just beat the crap out of the Dallas Stars. 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points, 28-26 time on ice. Every time he touched the puck, it was terrifying. That guy dominated us.
Biggest loser?
I'm going to say Otter. I mean, I saw some of the chats over there. The Otter was fine. He was fine. Sure. He got beat by Georgiev still. Shouldn't happen.
Biggest loser tonight is the glass behind Georgiev because the Stars could not hit the net to save their lives on their biggest chances when they needed a goal.
Stars thought it was a red door or something.
Yep, absolutely. The biggest winner tonight, I'll give it to Jamie Benn because he got the goal. He arguably should have had a second one too. Just good play by Josh Manson there. To make sure that it doesn't go in. At first, I thought that was Georgiev, and he made the save, and I was just like, "Oh man!" But it was just Josh Manson making sure it didn't go behind him. So, okay, I think that's gonna do it here for us tonight. I know it's a quick and fast one this evening. I'm tired, and I really don't want to talk about this game anymore, just because of how frustrated I am right now, and the fact that we had to stay up late here again, which I'm going to complain about one more thing. Chris knows where I'm going with this. I'm so sick of these late start times for Central Time Zone. We literally get the worst end of the stick, and it absolutely pisses me off. I'm so sick of these late times because now we're having to start a podcast after midnight the next day because the NHL is putting these late times or whoever's doing it.
52 local start.
That
doesn't make sense.
Stupid. That is absolutely stupid. Like, do you want to have young fans enjoy games? Obviously, they don't care about it in the Central Time Zone, and that really pisses me off. So, that I'm super frustrated about that. It's probably just exasperated just because the Stars lose this game. If they win this game, it's probably not that big of a deal. But it's just worse because we stay up late and it's a game we lose. So,
agreed.
Okay, Chris. Anything else before we say sayonara?
Please win the next one.
Yep. Everything just needs to be a little bit better in the next game, and it needs to be more consistent like we saw in the Vegas series. So we'll see how the Stars do in Game 2 on Thursday. Thank you guys for joining along here with us. We had up to 106 here this evening. There's more of you who are listening afterwards. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. Please go and check out sarcasticremarks.com. That's the website. And as always, that's the quickest way you can listen to the audio side of the episode. If you're on YouTube, click like and subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast on any of the major platforms, please consider leaving us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. Alongside Chris, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. We're going to try to rest up and be a little bit more energized for Game 2. Hopefully the Stars also follow suit with that as well. We will catch you guys on the next one. Have a good evening.